Hey guys, it's October the 31st, 2024, and happy Halloween to everybody. Just want to start off today's video and just say thank you to everyone for all the nice comments that everybody said in the video that I did yesterday. Man, you guys are so nice, and I really do appreciate it. It was awesome to come back and do a video and, just get so many people to watch. I know that I kind of went overboard with the time yesterday, but it had been so long since I've spoken to you guys, and like I was saying, I've just got so much to talk with y'all about, and I really didn't mean for that video to go on as long as it did. I just kept talking yesterday, and once again, thank you so much for hanging around and watching that. I know it was an hour long. It was quite lengthy, but once again, thank you to everybody for hanging out and watching that video and finding out what happened with me and why I ended up in the hospital. It's one of those things, and they told me when I got the tips initially that they do tend to get clogged up sometimes, and it's just one of those things they have to be careful for and look out for. I have to get CAT scans done on that tips or MRIs done. It was every 6 months, but now I'm going to be doing it every month now because of what happened. I actually have to go back next week and have scans done again. I have to go back down to Charleston to see my doctor again. So they're going to be keeping a close eye on it, make sure this doesn't occur anytime soon. I really hope that it doesn't. They had me doubled up on my blood thinners, and I just took my last doubled up dose this morning, and now I'm back to just taking my blood thinners as normal again. So hoping that everything stays the way that it is and I don't have to go through that again. But like I was saying in yesterday's video, there were two things that I wanted to talk about today. And, this doesn't necessarily pertain to alcohol or addiction per se. But I just wanted to talk about this because I just think it's very important. And, it's one of those things to where, it was something that I thought was important to share with you guys, because it's one of those things. Every once in a while we just need a little bit of a reminder of some, the things that are important in life. And, that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. And I said there were two things, and there are. This last experience in the hospital, it really changed my outlook on life. And I've already had, a little bit different of an outlook on life since all this began. But this really kind of just set in stone, my outlook and the way that I think about things. And this isn't one of the things I was going to talk about, but this absolutely has definitely changed the way I see things. It's just the little things don't matter. The little things that make us upset on a daily basis, they're just not that important. Don't sweat the small stuff, because at the end of the day, it's really not that big of a deal. And I think, myself, I'm just as guilty as anybody for getting caught up in the little things and getting upset about the small stuff. Something doesn't go right. Somebody cuts us off in traffic. We get that electric bill that's twice as much as we expected it to be. These things are all inconveniences and they're not fun to deal with. But at the end of the day, like I said, they're just little things. It's not the end of the world. And it's one of those things, when I was laying there in the hospital bed contemplating everything that I was going through, I started thinking back and reflecting on just times that I got upset about little stuff, or got worked up about something, or something really got me sad or something like that. When I was laying there, all I wanted was my health back. I just wanted to be normal. I'm going to speak for myself, but, often, little inconveniences, or let's just take the hurricane, for instance. That was frustrating, going through that. We didn't have power for a long time. I didn't have internet connection. We had drop cords laying all over the house. We're having to fill our gas tank on the generator, every couple of hours. But those are just small inconveniences. In the big scheme of things, it really wasn't that big of a deal. Because, if I had my choice as I laid there in the hospital bed, would I have gone right back to living in my house with no power, no running water, rather than being, stuck in a hospital bed laying there? I would have traded it all to go back to that, to have my health back. It's one of those things that you don't really think about, or we don't think about, or I don't think about until we're in that position and we have to go, wow, now, my health is failing. And when we don't have our health, we have nothing. Nothing else matters. I can tell you that from experience, and I can promise you that when your health is failing and things aren't going right with your health, you're not worried about anything else. That is all you care about. Which leads me into, the first thing I wanted to talk about today is that, none of the things that we worry about on a day-to-day basis, like our homes and our cars and any of our material possessions and our money in the bank and all that stuff, that is all irrelevant at the end of the day. Our health is the most important thing that we have. And, that's what I want to talk about, and I've spoken about this many times before, but this really hit home with me this time. Because I lay there and I did not think about anything else other than my family and my friends and my health. But my health was important, because without my health, if I'm not here, nothing else matters. I can't be here for my family. I can't be here for my friends. I can't be here for you guys. My house, my any of my material possessions, none of that stuff matters at all. My health wasn't there, and I felt horrible, and I just wanted to feel better. And once again, all that stuff that we worry about on a day-to-day basis, just all of our material things, if something breaks, we get all bent out of shape about it, or if our car breaks down, we get all bent out of shape about it, or the dishwasher breaks and we get all bent out of shape, or the microwave, or you name it, and it happens to all of us. And we think when these things occur, it ruins our day, and we get all upset, and we have to think about, oh man, it's going to cost $600 to get this repaired, or whatever it is. At the end of the day, none of that stuff really matters, because I didn't think about any of that stuff one time. And when you get in the position when you're, stuck in laying in a hospital bed, and that they might not be able to take care of you, and things might not turn out to be the best. Excuse me, my mouth is just so dry today. But when you're laying there and your health is failing, that's all that matters to you, because none of that stuff, you can't do anything with any of that stuff if you're not here, or if you're sick, or if you're laying in a hospital bed. And, I just wanted to give just a little reminder today. Don't sweat the small stuff. All that stuff will work itself out. And I know it's not any fun to deal with it, when things break, or, we get some obnoxious bill in the mail for something, or your cell phone stops working, and now you have to deal with all that stuff, or you lost your phone or broke it. And I know it can be, it can be a headache, and we can get upset about that stuff. But I just wanted to give a quick little reminder today that those things, they really don't matter. At the end of the day, if you have your health, you have everything in the world. When you're healthy and you can get up and do whatever you want, if you woke up this morning feeling good, you're the richest person in the world. You really are. You have more than anybody else does when you have your health. Our health is by far the most important thing that we have, besides our families and our friends. And like I said, I just wanted to throw that quick reminder out today that, whatever it is that you're dealing with, if it's not health related, it can be replaced. I mean, just for instance, the people up in like North Carolina that are still dealing with the devastation from the hurricane. A lot of people lost their homes. Whole towns were destroyed. Bridges were ripped apart. Those rivers came through there and flooded and just destroyed those areas. But those people are, they're banding together and they're sticking together and they're figuring this stuff out right now. And if you watch anything on the news, I've watched a bunch of stuff here lately, what's going on with those people. A lot of them, they're still smiling, they're still happy because they still have each other, they still have their health. Yeah, they might have lost their home, and that's a big deal. But they might have lost their home, their cars, whatever, but they still have each other, they still have their health, and they can still live another day. And all that stuff can be replaced. So I just wanted to just throw that out there. And then the second thing that I wanted to talk about, which I should have said first, but, one of the things I really thought about a lot when I was laying there in the hospital is that how important our friends and our family are, especially our family. When it comes down to it, our families are the most important thing that we have in this world. They really are. And I know a lot of us have problems with family and, maybe that brother or sister that we don't talk to anymore. Or, maybe we don't speak to our mom and our dad because we've had some disagreement with them. But, just think about this. And this is something I had to think about when I was in the hospital, is that, we might not get that opportunity to speak to that person one day. And, whatever those differences are, and sometimes those differences, we just can't work past them. There's sometimes things that happen that there is no forgiveness. There's just no way to walk past. And, there's no way to reconcile relationships sometimes, because there are some things that happen that there is no getting past it. But for the most part, we can work past our differences and our problems with each other. I just wanted to add that today, and just a reminder that, your friends and your family, those people that you might have had a problem with in the past, maybe consider reaching out to that individual and maybe try talking to them, because you just never know when that day may come. It's not like I had any kind of warning. It's not like, I got a letter in the mail that said, you're going to be getting sick next week, so start getting all of your affairs in order. It didn't work out that way. I just woke up one morning and started feeling horrible. And, 2 days later, I was in the hospital. And it's one of those things. Things just happen. And it's when you least expect it. I was not expecting to get sick. I was not expecting to end up in the hospital. I thought that those times were over for a while, but that's not the case. And I ended up back in the hospital again. And, that loved one that you have, every day that goes by that you don't speak to them, that's another day that goes by that you miss an opportunity to speak to that individual. And our family and our friends are so important. Those human connections that we have in life are by far the most important things that we have. Because, I'm sorry again, my mouth is so dry. It's just that those connections are so important, especially when we end up in situations like that. Those people that love us, that's when they really come out and, are there for us. Those are the times that, that we need those people, and we can rely on those people, and we can lean on those people, because our family are so important. And when I laid there in the hospital, the number one thing that I thought about, and I've talked about this over and over again, but it happened to me again when I ended up in the hospital this time, was I started to regret all the time that I didn't spend with my children. I started thinking about all the times when I was busy doing something else, and I had one of my kids begging me to do something with them, and I told him, not right now. Dad's busy right now. I'll do that with you later. or my wife asking me to do something with her, and I decided not to do something with her. Like, you know, for instance, my wife said, "Hey, do you want to ride with me?" My wife gets off work on Fridays early, and she'll often ask me, "Do you want to ride with me to go get the kids and pick them up from school?" And there's days where I've been like, "Nah, I've got something else I need to do," or, you know, "I need to do this interview today," or I got this I need to work on," or whatever it is. I just, you know, I could find another time to do those things, but instead, there have been times where I've chosen the opposite, rather than, you know, go with my wife just to pick up the kids. And it's like an hour and a half out of my day that I could have went and spent the afternoon just talking with her while we go to pick up my kids from school. And then, you know, that little bit of time as we pick up my youngest son and then go from that school to my oldest son's school to pick him up. And that little bit of window of time that I could have had alone with him, you know, cracking jokes or whatever it is. I just had a lot of time to think about, you know, the amount of time that I missed out with my children and my family in general. And not just my children, but my mom and my dad and my brother. You know, I've missed a lot of time with my parents, especially my dad. And, you know, I don't know if my dad watches these videos or not, but, you know, the thing is, you know, I just haven't spent a lot of time with my dad over the past year, and you know, I just had to think about it. My parents are getting up there in age. My dad just turned 70 years old, and you know, there's been a lot of times that you know, I could have been spending time with him, could have been talking with him, and you know, my dad and I have had some differences, and I've never really spoken about that on here, but my dad and I haven't seen eye to eye, especially over the past year, and you know, and that's it's all personal, but I just realized that I need to set all that stuff to the side and stop worrying about those little things, because I would feel horrible if something was to happen to my dad or my mom or my brother or something, and I didn't spend as much time as I could with them. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, is that, you know, just think about, you know, maybe giving that individual a phone call, whatever that family member is that you haven't spoken to in a long time, and maybe just trying to strike up a conversation with them. And if things don't work out, then so be it, but at least you tried. And like I said, I can promise you that if you end up in a situation like that, those are the things you're going to be thinking about, are those missed times, those missed connections, all those things that you could have been doing with those individuals. And I don't know, I just wanted to talk about that today, because it really did. It really was on my mind when I was in the hospital, and you know, it's one of those things, one of those lessons that I learned, and maybe, you know, you can take something from what I learned from this. And you know, one of the first things I did when I got home from the hospital is I reached out to my dad and spoke to him, and we've been speaking pretty consistently since I've been home from the hospital. And you know, we weren't talking that much before this happened, but I just realized that, you know, it's time to set my differences to the side. And you know, those are things, those are little petty little things, and you know, we're not all going to agree on everything. There's going to be times when we're going to disagree, but that's okay. It's okay to disagree. It's part of being a human being. And, you know, a small disagreement or something like that shouldn't dictate, you know, us spending time and continuing those connections with our family members and our friends. Because when we end up in those types of situations, that's when those people really do come through for us. And that's when we really do see, you know, these people really do love us. They care for us. And I don't know. It's been on my heart, and I wanted to share it with you guys. And you know, like I've said this so many times, but you know, I make these videos based on what's on my mind for the day, or what's been on my mind for the month, or whatever it is. And ever since I was in the hospital, this has been on my heart, and I wanted to talk about it with you today, and just give you guys just a quick little friendly reminder to maybe pick up that phone and give that family member a call. And don't forget how important our friends and our family really are. But and not to mention, before I get off of here, I got to at least throw something in here about sobriety. Those thoughts, they're gonna come, but the best thing about those thoughts of either drinking or using whatever the substance is, those thoughts, they come, but those thoughts, they also go, and they don't last forever. So if you're getting those thoughts in your head, just give it a little bit of time. They will go away. Go for a little walk. Maybe turn on the television. Do something to get it out of your mind for a few minutes. But it eventually will fade off. And it might come back again. But, give it a little bit of time again, and they will go away. Don't give in to those ideas. That little person on your shoulder is going to continue to keep talking to you, and it does get lesser and lesser as time goes by. But, like I said, those thoughts come in and those thoughts go out. But, don't give that little thought any time of day, because that little thought can turn into years of misery, and you just don't want to go back through that again. And, like I was saying in yesterday's video, more than anything else, you just don't want to end up having health complications because of this. Because at some point, if you continue to drink, you're going to end up with some kind of health problems from the alcohol consumption or usage. You can't get away with it forever. And, I'm not trying to scare anybody or anything like that. All I'm saying is that at some point, there will be negative consequences because of it. And you just don't want to have to deal with it. There are so many people on this channel who have health problems like I do because of their consumption of alcohol. Alcohol doesn't serve us any benefits whatsoever. It's literal poison. And it just doesn't do us any good. So if those thoughts are crossing your mind today, just get them out of your head and think about something else. Pick yourself up one of those nice seltzer waters, drink one of those, find something. I can't stress how important it is to have something to fill your time, some kind of hobby. I haven't spent much time here recently watching very many videos or really doing much research into addiction at all since I was in the hospital. So, it's one of those things where I don't have a lot of fresh stuff on my mind right now as far as that stuff's concerned. Because I really, for one, you just have normal television when you're in the hospital. It's just cable. And more than anything, I just spent time just clicking that remote button and just flicking through channels because, every time, every couple of minutes commercials would come on, and next thing you know, I'm just flipping through the channels trying to find something else again. And I really couldn't get on my phone and really watch much because I was being interrupted so much. And I just didn't want to think about it too much while I was in there because, I was already in there because of my problem with alcohol. And I just didn't want to focus my attention too much on that. I really wanted to focus all my attention on trying my best to get better, concentrate on, trying to rest and not fill my mind up with a whole lot of stuff. Once again, guys, don't let your mind wander and give in to those thoughts, because it's just not worth it at the end of the day. I can promise you this much, that if you do, give in and have that drink, it's not going to be what you expected it to be. We get these ideas in our head that, that one drink is going to be fabulous and it's going to be so great and we're going to feel so awesome after we have it. Once you have that drink, it's going to be a big letdown. And then that whole can of worms gets open. And then you've got, this whole idea, at least I know this is how my mind works, is that, once I've done it, well, now, I might as well keep doing it. And I was talking with my mom about this on the way home from the hospital. about how that if I was to ever have one drink, that's all it would take. Because I would have this idea in my mind, well, I've already done it now, so I might as well just go ahead and go for it. And, if I went and got one beer, I'd be like, well, I've already had a beer now, so I might as well go to the liquor store and get a bottle of liquor. I've already popped the seal on this. Might as well have a good time. And that would just lead to me going and getting a liquor bottle, and then the whole cycle would start. And then, I would drink liquor that night, get completely intoxicated, wake up the next morning, I would feel horrible, and then what's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to get the hair of the dog. So then the cycle has started back over again. And then before you know it, who knows how much time would elapse before I would finally wake up and go, what the heck am I doing here again? That's why it's just not worth to even go there. Why put yourself back in that cycle? Why start that whole process over again and then have to go through the whole withdrawal process after trying to stop and all that nonsense? It's just not worth it, guys. So just get it out of your head. Think about something else. There's so many other good things that you could be doing with yourself other than drinking. And if you've got any sobriety under your belt, you know how good your life's become now. Why go back? Why change it? Your life is so much better without that substance in your life. Why turn it all around? There's just no point in it. Excuse me. So, sorry guys. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here for today. And thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I just wanted to throw those little tidbits in for today and just give you that little friendly reminder that, the little problems in life, they're not that, they're just that. They're little problems. They're not that big of a deal. And anything that we have in this world can be replaced. Might not be able to replace it tomorrow. It might take some time. But it still can be replaced. But our friends and our family, they can't. And once they're gone, they're gone. And just don't forget that. And maybe think about, just maybe, think about that family member or that friend that you have that you haven't spoken to in a long time because you guys had a disagreement or whatever it may be. Maybe think about picking up that phone today and reaching out to them, because you might never get that chance ever again. And once they're gone, it's too late. Just think about that for today, guys. I love y'all so much. And until tomorrow, I'll see y'all then. Bye-bye.